Hey guys, 2019 started with a bang. After an article being made about Hattrick on a big sports site, over 600 managers joined the Israeli community within a day. A similar thing happened in Portugal about a month ago. With so much new managers joining Hattrick, I just have to give you my 5 best tips for the new teams. If you wanna skip to the tips, just check the timestamps in the description below. But first of all, I would like to welcome all the new managers joining the game. Wish you best of luck and lots of fun for years to come. I'm Uncle-mish and I'm doing Hattrick content on my YouTube channel. For more advanced subjects, check out my other videos. But this time, whether you are a new manager or a returning one, I would like to give you my 5 best tips for the new teams. So, without further ado, let me give you tip number 1, and that would be read the Hattrick manual. The Hattrick manual, you could find it under the help bar. Either it's the beginner's guide or the actual manual. The beginner's guide will give you a broad overview of the game, and the actual manual, it's quite easy to understand as well. Every subject is explained by a short paragraph. Either it's the coach, finances, training, players, and everything you need to know. So read the manual, it will help you. My second and a very important tip would be a dual one. That would be finance and training. I can't count the amount of teams coming into the game, overspending and going bankrupt. Don't be this team. You could find your financial status under the My Club bar Finance. You are starting on a limited budget. You could see your cash funds, the amount of cash you could spend right now here, and the total cash would be at the bottom. When you'll be a more veteran and rich team, some of the cash will be stored in the reserves, but it's nothing you should worry about right now. So, a few things you should definitely not spend money on at the beginning of your road, and that would be increasing your stadium mindlessly, hiring expensive staff members, or just buying expensive players for your roster. Don't do it. On the other hand, there are definitely things you should invest money on, and that would be increasing your training efficiency. Do hire staff members that you can afford. That would be level 3 at the beginning, and you could upgrade them in the future. Then you could upgrade your coach to a solid one and or buy future coaches. But the heart and soul of your team should be the young trainees. Buy 17-year-old trainees with specialties and train them. If they are too expensive, buy slightly worse players but still young and with specialties. Talking about training, you could go to the training section here and define your training. You could choose any training you want: playmaking, goalkeeping, defending. Let's take defending for example. So basically here you could see the amount of training slots that you have per game. Per game you could train 5 players in defense. So having 2 games per week, you could train 10 trainees. So you should buy 10 trainees. Don't throw out training slots. Train the maximum amount of players that you can, because in the future you will sell all those players for a lot of money and upgrade your team financially. Talking about some definitions, I would definitely recommend 100% training intensity and 5 to 10, but preferably 5 stamina share. That would be training and finance. Third tip would be start a youth academy. When you get your team, you only have your senior team, and in the youth club you have something called the scouting network. Basically, you could go to your youth team overview, call a scout, and he'll bring you a young player directly to your senior team. Probably most of the time you'll get really bad players, and you shouldn't do it at all. You have an option to start a youth academy. In the youth academy, basically you are managing another team consisting of 15 to 17-year-old players. You have to place them into leagues and train their players to reveal their skills, potential and specialities. Then you could promote them to your senior team when they are 17-year-old or playing in your youth academy for at least 1 season. But on average, those players would be much better than the scouting network. They will be worth more and they'll really be future stars. You could either use them in your senior team and train them further, or just sell them in the free market for a lot of cash. My next tip would be the community. And if you are asking yourself, how could a community help your own team improve, I'll give you a few reasons. First of all, that would be the mentoring system. You could sign up and ask for a mentor for your own community and your own country. That would be an experienced manager that you could ask him anything you want and he'll give you a personal introduction into the game. Second of all, that would be the general forums. Every country has their own Hattrick forum talking about main Hattrick subjects, and also a Q&A forum where you could ask any question you want and the community will reply. And on a personal note, I would like to invite you to my Twitch channel. Every Friday during the national team matches I'm doing a Hattrick stream talking about high-level tactics, general Hattrick stuff, and also answering questions from people in the chat. My fifth and final tip would be patience. In Hattrick, patience is king. If you come here looking to play 10 games per day and promote to a higher division every week, Hattrick is probably not the game for you. But if you love long-term challenge, building your team from scratch and compete against the best managers in the world, you are in for a treat. It could take you numerous seasons to build your team to a level that could compete for cups, championships, or even in the Hattrick Masters, which is the equivalent of the European Champions League. You could try your wits and coach a national team and compete in the World Cup. But on the other hand, even in the most busy periods of your life, it would be enough to spend only 15 minutes per week to keep your team in the game. So Hattrick is a lifelong experience. Be patient and success will follow. So let's make a quick recap. Tip number 1 would be read the Hattrick manual. Number 2, finance and good training. Tip number 3 is open a youth academy. Number 4, use the power of the community. And tip number 5, be patient. For new managers, is there other questions you'd like me to answer? Please write them in the comment section and I would love to do it. And for more experienced managers, is there other tips that you are thinking about you'd like to suggest? Write them down as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you could like and subscribe to my channel. And just remember, Hattrick is more than a game, it's a community. And I'll definitely see you around.